welcome to Real Talk, a segment brought to you by the Scott County Public Library. I'm your host, Lincoln, here today to showcase some new films that we have at the library and talk about some older films you may have missed along the way. Today I have two films about a ragtag group of heroes answering the call to save the world. My first pick starts the best secret agent since an agent called James Bond, trying to save the world from nuclear catastrophes. That's why I'm talking about our MIF agent Ethan Hunt and the marvelous Mission Impossible Fallout. To me, one of the best films coming out of 2018, Fallout is a blockbuster picture in all the best meanings of the words. It brings out action into another dizzying height that you can almost not think possible, that can leave you at the edge of your seat while you're watching. Many people can talk about how much action there is in Fallout and how much it rules, and I would be the first person to say absolutely it's true. But I would also like to mention just a few things that makes everything else great about it. Rob Hardy's cinematography really shines through this whole picture, using anamorphic lenses that give the picture a wider scope and a grandeur that can feel like you're watching one of those older 70s styled thrillers while you're watching Tom Cruise and Henry Cavill actually halo jump out of a plane in real life or on a motorcycle chase through the passages of France. Macquarie, the director, continues to develop and solidify Ethan Hunt as a fully realized character, a man that is willing to save human life and put it ahead of everything else, including the mission, even if it means being disavowed by his own country time and time again, the one that he's sworn to protect. But Macquarie here also does something I think few action films successfully do, which is making women characters that feel fully realized with agency and goals for themselves, rather than just being simple plot points to the male heroes. To me, Mission Impossible films feel, in my mind, are the most original action franchise right now out there, full of solid character moments and awe-inspiring action sequences that just leave you breathless. The film in particular has one of the greatest car chases probably in the last 15 or 20 years, as well as helicopter sequences that must be really seen to be believed. So yeah, I could say I think Mission Impossible Fallout is just impossibly great, and I cannot wait to see the next film in the next couple of years. Next up, I'm very excited to talk about a movie called Sneakers. We're going to be heading back to the 1990s, to the year of 1992, to talk about this undervalued film. Part techno-noir and part old school caper, Sneakers came to life from the minds of friends Phil Alden Robinson, Lawrence Lasker, and Walter F. Parks, who wanted to make a movie that they thought they weren't seeing enough on the big screen, and it took over 10 years for that to make them a reality. After years of work, they finally pitched this film to executives as a sort of high-tech Dirty Dozen. While operating in the shadows for nearly 20 years after playing a virtual Robin Hood with the federal government's money, Martin, played by Robert Redford, and his buddies make a living breaking into banks. But this really isn't simply a robbery, it's a sneak. Breaking into banks and testing the bank's security system or gaps, and for a price, of course. The plot that follows is a series of misdirections. Martin is confronted by men claiming to be NSA agents. They know who he really is, and they want to use that knowledge to force him and his team into finding a mysterious black box invented by a mathematician named Janik. Lasker and Parks stumbled into the world of Sneakers while they were researching for another script that they were making called War Games back in the 1980s. It was there that they discovered the history of hackers and cybersecurity. Even many of the characters based in this movie are from real-life security crackers, basing David Strathairn's Whistler on a phone phreaker named Joseph Carl Ingracia Jr. Ingracia was born blind but became interested in phone technology at the age of 4, and by the age of 7 he was already able to activate phone numbers and phone switches simply by whistling using different tones. And while the movie has plenty of gadgets, it's really all just window dressing. What seems to be a movie about high-tech culture is a fundamentally actual low-tech story about human connections and emotional intelligence. It's a story that relies on a group of individuals succeeding using teamwork and listening and bonding. I love this film. I think you should go out and try to find it yourself. And of course, all this week's films are available at the Scott County Public Library, and I encourage you all to search them out and decide that for yourself. And you can always find every single episode of Real Talk on our Facebook or YouTube. And you can also go to our webpage to check out all of our great other programs. As always, this has been Lincoln for Real Talk, here to remind you to watch more movies.